Alright, I was in the room tonight. It was Alex here with a cooking video slash brand promotion slash how to deal with any kind of eating disorder where you need to blend your food. Mine is going to be specifically esophageal cancer. That's what I have. And I will start off by saying I am limited in that I'm living in a very nice hotel room, as you can see, nice in the kitchenette. But I don't have an oven, and I have a small fridge and microwave. So, rather than a full-blown kitchen, some things are limited, but I'm not going without. I want to start off by saying some of the most important things to do in order to be able to swallow with esophageal cancer. It's all in the prep, right? So while I'm doing this, and every time before I'm preparing my food to eat, I'm trying to calm down, I'm trying to relax my throat, I'm trying to keep that mentality and not stress myself out. So I kind of try to take pride and enjoy what I'm doing as I'm doing it, because that helps me be calm and in turn helps me swallow. And eating is a big part of this disease. If you're able to eat, then you will live a somewhat normal life. So moving forward, on that note, it's all in the preparation. So things like liquid IV, hydration is huge when you need the ability to swallow. Make sure you're hydrated, but not taking on so much liquid before you eat that you're nauseous or that your stomach's full of fluid and you're leaving yourself no room for food. Smart water is also great. Keep in mind with the electrolytes. Both of these have electrolytes in them, so both can be very salty. Smart water, not as much, but it does still have some added salt. Liquid IV can be very salty, so I try to do like quarter doses, half doses. I'll muddle them down with water. Any type of this oral mouth rinse for dry mouths is fantastic. Keeps your throat moist and helps me swallow. One important thing to remember is this does have, it's a type of alcohol called xylitol. And you may be familiar with it because it is known to cause colitis. So you don't want to swallow it first and foremost. You don't want to overdo it. So use it before meals. Try to limit it to that. Some other great products we'll be using this Ninja blender. I tell you, man, for $40, you will never find a better blender. These things last forever. My only complaint is they're loud, very, very loud. What do you do? And that, you just have to deal with it. Tonight, look. As far as what I'm preparing tonight, I'm not a Gordon Ramsay first and foremost, but you want to just make sure your big meal groups are covered, okay? So, I wrote it down here. What are some important things to remember when meal prepping with cancer and any esophageal disorder? So, food types, you always want to incorporate a protein, vegetable, starch, a fat. Just like every meal, just like anyone would have. And then you're going to want to balance your flavors, salt, sweet, and acid. You can do that salt, sweet, and acid in a variety of ways. And I'll get into that as I do it here. But none of this is rocket science, guys. It's pretty simple. So I'm going to just go ahead and start off with picking whatever the longest thing is to cook out of my mix. Keep in mind, I know a lot of people with cancer are always going for organic, and while I would love to go 100% organic and homemade, that's a luxury. That's a luxury that cannot always be afforded on many levels. I mean, for me to do each one of these items homemade with organic produce and non-frozen meal prep dinners, and then blend it, and then run the risk of myself not being able to eat it, it would consume me all day long, and not to mention cost ridiculous amounts of money over the course of the week. So I have found that it's easier just to go for a lot of smaller meals and keeping it as simple as possible. In fact, this is a little bit more extravagant than I would usually go, be it that it's 3 or 4 items. So the takeaway from that is just keep it simple. You know, this isn't rocket science. I really like these scalloped potatoes. There's a few brands that do it. Reese's is amazing. Stouffer's is amazing. Mary Callender's has a good one. I know it's funny, but these scalloped potatoes are so good. And scalloped potatoes are going to represent, you know, your starch, your fat, and cheese in them. With esophageal cancer, you want to try to get as much calories bang for your buck. So you don't have to cut things like the fats and cheeses as much as you would with, say, a liver cancer, or you know, somebody who's trying to lose weight. I go for the cheeses. I go for the milk. I go for the fat because I weighed 200 pounds before I got this disorder, and I'm down to 135 pounds because of my inability to swallow. So anytime I can get it in, anytime I'm in the mood to eat, I do it, and I do it with all the calories and fat behind it. And that's what the doctors say too. So go for it. Make it taste good. So while that's cooking, let's go ahead and prepare some stuff here. Got a Campbell's cream mushroom. You can make some smart choices here and there. You know, Campbell's makes a low sodium option. Might be a good choice to do. It's important to wash your hands. The last thing you want to do is get sick from either a dirty blender, which is a very common thing, dirty hands, whatever it would be. Also on a steroid, which is very common with cancer and will knock your immune system down. You get some kind of stomach virus, and you'll be very miserable on top of everything else we've been through. So I've got a little bit of Swedish meatballs here. This was Stouffer's brand. I took it out of the package already. Along with cream of spinach, Stouffer's brand as well. So we've got our veggie, we've got our protein, another starch, another fat. This is in like a mushroom sauce anyways, but this is going to help with consistency and give it a creaminess and me the ability to swallow. You need that soup base, because that's what you're going for with these slurries. It's like a liquid so you can swallow. I mean, the thing with these scalloped potatoes is you cannot overcook them. I could put this in here for 10, 15 minutes and then put it in the broiler and it'd still be good. So we'll pull them out after 5 minutes and we cook them more. Let's see. Do not try this now, these are hot as shit. Let's go ahead and pop these balls in. Obviously, mixing and all those things aren't too important here because we're going to blend it. What is important is the ordering of what you're putting in the blender, because you want your more difficult blends at the bottom. The blades are. And everything's easy to blend here, but the meatballs are going to be the densest things. I'm going to say meatballs, potatoes. There will be spinach. Stick it there. So pop this spinach. This is frozen cream spinach. You can buy canned. You can make it yourself. One of the ones in pre-vented bags. Yeah. So it's just a simple thing. When I go to prepare one of these blended meals, it's you can make it as simple or as complicated as you want it to be, but at the end of the day, I think that keeping it simple is the way, because you want to try to eat more often rather than have these big extravagant productions for meals. It's the goal. These liquid IVs are amazing. I talked about preparing your mind and things for this. I've got a wax diffuser going just to keep the aroma right, keep it calm. I can't speak for all types of diseases and cancers, but esophageal cancer stinks to high heaven, and I stink to high heaven. So it's things that smell good are good to have around. I decided to end up cooking this a little bit longer. Potatoes. Just about 2 more minutes on those. Got about a minute left on the spinach. Got a a lot of creaminess here. So I don't have to go too overboard. I just need a liquid base. In a perfect world, I would be using a nut milk, like an almond milk or soy milk. Actually, I would stay away from the soy because hormones and cancer, the soy. And speaking of hormones, that we use in whole milk, but you know, and at least I'm eating something. You can't always have perfection, but that's really the killer with this specific disease is eating nothing. I have some appetite. I love to eat. This is really hot. I used to work in restaurants though, so I've retained my ability to touch really hot things. I'm gonna use this whole bag, it's overpowered. I'm gonna pop this in for 2 more minutes. It should be good to go. Alright, so potatoes are about done. To be honest, the wind's about done. So, one thing that really ties what I call these slurs together is your cheese and your fats. So, a lot of times I'll put in like a cream cheese or Orsan cheese with herbs and garlic or butter or whatever, but I tell you, these scalloped potatoes have all the above in it, so I don't really need any balance, any acid, salt, or fat balance. This does it just perfectly. Some good things to do that with if you don't have an ingredient like this is the use of like a lemon. If something tastes a little too bitter to you, you can use maple syrup or just about anything. Olive oil is also a common one they say to use. And you want to stay away from like hot pepper, things that are too acidic, like very vinegary hot sauce or tomato sauces can be kind of tricky. I mean, I can still do them, but they can be kind of tricky. You want to stay away from super like greasy, deep fried stuff. You know, I guess I would still struggle with chicken wings or French fries, things of that nature. So, anyways. Go ahead and add some of these scalloped potatoes to it. And it smells so good. Don't overfill your blender either. That's as full as you'll ever want it. leftovers. Get a good mix in here. So make things somewhat even. The thing with the ninjas, make sure the bottom's on real good. Turn once, and the thing I love the most about these is the lid locks on. And they've got these mixing prongs. But this is the part I like the least, especially when I'm in a hotel room. I'm sure my neighbor will love me already. But it is what it is. Gotta eat. Okay, so initially I can already see a problem very easily fixed. So at the very top here, I've still got like these unblended hunks. Well, that, my friend, literally can ruin a whole meal for me because it's not fully blended and mixed. And that's something that I will eventually eat and then choke on and that if needed the whole purpose. So I'm gonna make sure I get all of that down in there and just do a couple, like a 10-second blend. You gotta do it the full way or not at all. You don't want to liquefy everything per se, but you can't leave unblended product. I can't anyways. I'm sure at some point as my treatments and things help, I'll be able to eat more and more as far as unblended goes. At the moment, just 10 more seconds. Okay, just gonna leave this right here for the time being. And from here, take your mix. I try not to overfill this stage either because you may want to add a little cheese or whatever, a little more milk at some point if you find something to be too thick or you need something. So give yourself some space here. Because there's always, when I do these, I always finish them up in the microwave for a minute or two. Just so everything's hot. It's good to go. Alright. Just finished it up. Before I leave the kitchen, I always sit down and I always taste it. Make sure it doesn't need anything. And I always try to pay very close attention to consistency and try to picture myself eating it through sometimes I'm sitting down to eat meals for 20 to 30 minutes. So I have to think about, in 20 minutes, am I going to still be able to eat this at that consistency? And I'm getting a little bit too thick here. I think. So, when that happens, very easy fix. Simply take open the milk, water, this is hot enough to where I don't even think I need to put it back in the microwave. I might need to in 10 minutes, but right now I don't. That's that. Folks, it's not rocket science, but we call that a slurry porridge. And this is simply basically Swedish meatballs, scalloped potatoes, cream of spinach, cream of mushroom soup. Delicious. You love the Esophageal Cancer. Nothing's going to stop me from it. Have a good day. God bless you. Thanks for watching.